set. Check. Mic 1 2. It's been a while. I know. Hello guys. Welcome back to LS YouTube channel. I know I've taken a break off, but let's get right into it. And today's episode and in today's video, we're going to talk about how I got my job in the USA as an international student. I have a couple of things written down so that I don't lose track and then make a long video and then yap too much. So let's get into this video. So to begin with, as I said, my name is Emanuela Rafe and I was a biotech grad student at Northeastern University, the Rue campus here in Portland, Maine. And my visa status is currently F1 visa. And then the kind of job that I wanted when I was about finishing my grad degree was a job in research and in healthcare. I wanted to be involved in translational research and then have an understanding of how healthcare and in research goes hand in hand. So my biggest advice, just know what you want and set your goals before you start looking for jobs. On to the next part. I need you guys to really focus on this part because this is the most important part of the video. So when I started looking for jobs, so with my school, you first go on an internship, which is called a co-op, before you move on to finding an actual job when you're done with school. Luckily for me, my co-op turned into my current job right now. So thanks be to God for that part. But some tips that I have is one, paying attention to your CV and updating your CV from whichever country that you're coming from to the USA as an international student to the US style CV. So with that one, you can use, resources from your school to help you update your CV to the current USA style CV or resume, as some people call it. You can also seek advice from your career advisors and your co-op advisors or job advisors from whichever school that you are in right now. And then secondly, you would have to know the sites, the right sites and the reliable sites to apply to or to apply for the jobs on. For example, LinkedIn is a good, reliable source to apply jobs on. Number two, you can use Northeastern website, NUWorks, if you're at Northeastern. If you're not at Northeastern, you can try Indeed and other career websites as well. On top of my head, these are the ones that I know: LinkedIn, Indeed, and then other career websites. The fourth one is to also, the other type of career website that you can use are the company career websites. So most of these companies that you're applying to have their career sites where they list jobs that have openings in those companies right now that you can look out for. So you can look out for all these jobs that they have listed, the ones that tally well with whatever your background is and what you're interested in, you apply. So now let's move on to applying for the job. You have to tailor your application to whichever career that you're picking, whichever job that you're picking. So for example, let's say you are picking a job under research, you have to tailor your CV and then also your cover letter to that particular job. If you're picking a job as an office assistant or as a receptionist or anything, even though your background is in, let's say, project management or biotech or something, but you really want to pick a job as a front desk assistant or as an office assistant or anything, you would have to tailor your CV to your strengths that matches with an office assistant, as well as your cover letter that you're using to apply for the job as well. And then number four and number five, I've lost track. Anyway, let's move on. You would have to practice your interviews a lot. I know wherever you're coming from, whichever jobs that you've been in, you've had several interviews, you've practiced with a lot of people, but in America it's different. your experience matters. So you would have to put all those experiences on your CV and then practice a lot, because sometimes you might feel complacent that you know a lot, and then in front of a panel you get confused and then you lose track of what you're supposed to say, and then you end up yapping and saying unnecessary things that are not important in that interview. So know what the job is about, know what the company is about, their mission, their vision, whatever the company stands for. Understand that first. Read about the company, read about the job description, make sure it tallies with your strengths and in your background as well as your experience. And then you practice these interviews with friends. You can ask friends to help you out. You can ask your career advisors or your co-op advisors in your school. Maybe if you have other people in authority in your school that you're friends with or that you kind of have a vibe with, you can ask them to help you as well. At Northeastern, we also have some other sites that you can use to practice your interviews, which I think is called the Big Something Interview. You can use that website as well to try. Just ask your career or co-op advisor about it, and they're going to show you what that site is, and you can use that site to practice your interviews. Now, during the interviews, don't forget that when you are having this one-on-one interviews with whatever company that you applied for, the interviewer, make sure to ask questions. But before you ask questions during your interview, let them finish talking. Let them give you an intro about what the company stands for, what the company is about, and then what the role that you applied to is about. After they've told you what the role stands for, the responsibilities and all of that, now they can ask you, do you have any questions to ask? And then you put in all your questions, and you're going to get these questions from reading about the company first before you apply to that job. And then after you're done with your job interview, make sure you send a thank you email as a follow-up email to say thank you for them interviewing you, and you hope to hear from them soon enough as to know whether you've gotten the job or not. This is going to help the interviewer or the panel that you interviewed with to know that, oh, this person actually appreciates the fact that we made time to sit and interview them or to talk to them. And then let's move on to the next section of the video. Now let's move to what actually worked for me when I was applying for the jobs. So what platform worked best for me was, I would say, the company career websites. So knowing which company you want to work with, as I said, I wanted to go into healthcare and research. So Main Health was like my biggest goal as to get a job there. So I checked their career websites like a lot, and then I picked the jobs that was applicable to my background, and then I applied for them. So I would say for me, career websites worked best for me for the companies, but people prefer Indeed and then LinkedIn, which works best for other people. Some people also got their jobs from, school websites like NUX. So that depends on you and what works best for you. Number 2, what made recruiters reply to me instantly? I won't lie to you, I got rejected from most of the jobs, but the couple that replied to me for a second interview, I feel like what worked best for me during the interview was how I branded myself during the interview, how I carried myself, my responses to all of their questions, my experience, my goals, which is very important. And then also, sometimes as you are answering the questions, you come up with ideas that the recruiters feel like is going to help or benefit their company in a special way. So that also is like a plus. And then also recommendations from people that you work with. That is why I would always tell anybody that I talk to or help out that make sure that whatever job that you're doing, you do it well and do it with all your strength and your might, so that in the future somebody can recommend you to someone for a good job. Also, do not forget about how to answer your strengths and your weaknesses question very well. I'm going to make a separate video on how to answer those two questions, which is kind of like which is more like a question that people find it difficult to answer, that ends up making them, deviate from the main goal when answering the question during interview. So my biggest advice here is to apply to a lot of jobs. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Number 2, make sure that you are eloquent, build yourself, brand yourself during interviews, and do your best. And then make sure to send follow-up emails after the interview is done. If I can do it, you can do it too. This brings me to the end of my video. I love you guys all. I hope you stick and stay with me and watch the second video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share my YouTube channel to other people as well so that they can benefit from this educational video. Bye bye.